And here we go. It's February 21st, 2024. Hey, you know what Kobe said about Shaq? He said, I didn't appreciate Shaq until I played with Dwight. What's up, y'all? We are back and worse than ever. We are the HoopStorians. I am Tony Styles. This is unique. Let's
What
get into
up?
this day. Let's get into this day in NBA history. February 21st, 1952. The Boston Celtics and the Fort Wayne Pistons tipped off at midnight in a Milkman special following the Ice Follies performance at Boston Gardens. Kuzi kept the 2,000 fans awake with 24 points in an 88-67 win. Would you go to a game that started after midnight?
Not unless it was like during March Madness or something. No,
But not just a regular one?
no, not at all. That'd be crazy.
Well,
Hold
only
on.
2,000
Actually,
people.
when you
What's up?
think about it, how competitive do you think a person would be at midnight?
Well, it depends like this. Generally speaking, the NBA players, they start about 7 o'clock locally, depending on where they're at. So they're used to being up at night. So I would guess, I don't know their sleep schedule, but, starting, if you're used to starting at 7 a.m., how much good, how big, tongue tied, how good would your work performance be at noon coming in late?
Mm, I don't know. I feel like most people, their energy dwindles down as the day progresses. You got those night owls, so of course, the night brings life into them. And I'm just curious, like just thinking about that, like I don't know, like who trying to hoop at? I mean, and don't get me wrong, hoopers hoop, but who trying to hoop at like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning?
I'll be honest with you. My favorite times to get runs in at the gym, if I can find the people, is around midnight. You know what I mean? I don't got to
Oh
be
yeah.
waiting. I'm a night owl. I prefer being up at night. But
Is it
what's
because you
crazy
got
is
more energy, or is it because you don't like waiting?
I got more energy. I'm naturally up at night. It's hard for me to wake up. Um, I'll put it this way: I never wake up early unless it's on a weekend when I don't have work.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only time I can wake up early. But yeah, I'm not a morning person at all. So yeah, I have more energy and all that. What's crazy though is it came after the ice follies. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know what the ice follies are. I'm guessing it's the ice capades, but I don't know what took precedent. But that goes to this day in NBA history. So, anyways, I want to address something on the show real quick before we get into our topics and all that. I've had people hitting me up talking about that. I think that I said that players from the 50s and 60s are better than current players, and that's not what I'm saying. What I say is this: is greatness transcends eras. Great and best are two different things. That's one of the goals of this show. I hope that people learn. Greatness and best are two completely different things. There are two different words. You're using them different. I'll give you a prime example. I think Ish Smith would absolutely wreck Bob Cousy in a game. If we transported Ish Smith back to the 1950s, this guy's averaged 3 points a game, career high of 12 points a game, comes off the bench pretty much everywhere he comes against one of the greatest of all time. I think he would absolutely destroy Cousy. There's, but but you can't tell me Ish Smith is greater with Cousy's got an MVP. Ish Smith's got no MVPs. We got 6 titles. Ish might have won 1 title as a bench player, but I don't remember. He's got a bunch of all-star games, no all-star games. That is the difference in greatness and best. For example, any army would completely destroy, Alexander the Great right now. The Roman Empire, still a greater empire. That's the difference between greatness and best. Greatness transcends. It's what you accomplished, what you did. I'm not arguing about that. If the numbers are close and you want to argue competition, cool. But I'm not going to argue that somebody nowadays with no MVPs is greater than somebody with 5 MVPs or whatever the case may be. You got anything you want to add on this?
Yeah, it's kind of like the 73 and non-Warriors. They may have been the best team, but they weren't the greatest team because they didn't get it done.
And there we go. That is the difference between greatness and best. Nobody's arguing that 50s players are better than current players. Players now are more talented, more skilled, more all of that. They are a better player. However, though, you also have to factor this in. If we look at someone like a Wilt Chamberlain, instead of being born in 1936, if he was born in 1996 and he had the invention of YouTube, analytics, and all that, how great would he have been? Do you think he would have still played the way he played, or do you think he would have played different? Do you think his athleticism transcends to this time or not? I don't know. But that's definitely a topic. He didn't learn how to play like that, so he didn't play like that. They played completely different back then. They had completely. I'll give you another example. Cotton Fitzsimmons. This dude won over 800 games in the NBA, was coach of the year and all that. He used to tell his players all the time, take a step in from three and get a better shot. So you're shooting, we'll just make up the numbers, 33% from three, and then you shoot 35% from a step in. Why would you want to lose the extra point for a 2 extra percent increase? Makes no sense. But that's how they thought back then. They didn't know the math. So that is the stuff that upsets me when people say that. So nobody is saying that players from the 50s and 60s are better than players now. I'm saying they are greater. There are some players that are greater. I think Carmelo Anthony would probably work Bill Russell in a game. Doesn't change the fact that Bill Russell is greater than Carmelo Anthony. He's just not better. Those are two different things. That's why there's two different words to describe those two different actions. That it? You got anything?
Nah, you said it.
So anyways, and that's my little rant. So the first thing we want to get into tonight is some of our favorite all-time championship rings. I am an avid ring guy. If I could afford it, I would literally have every championship ring, not just in the NBA. I'd have Super Bowl rings. I'd have baseball. I don't watch college football. I'd have college football. I'd have every type of ring. I'd have championship belts. You know, I just love the championship thing. What do you want to say about the championship rings before we get into it?
I mean, I feel you. I mean, I wouldn't want to have all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
championship rings, just the commemoration. Yeah, as a fan, that'd be dope to have. So I definitely do get it. There are certain rings, there are certain teams where if I could have their ring, I definitely would. So
Well, let's get into the first few rings. Here's some of the rings you picked out. Let's show them real quick.
yes. Lakers, they got some dope ones.
So, what was your favorite Lakers ring? What year?
Um, Honestly, the crazy thing about it is the Lakers' most recent championship might have been my favorite as far as the way the ring looked.
Mine's definitely the 0-2 one.
Those two one.
The 0-2 one is definitely my favorite one. It's got the triangle offense to represent the It's got three
Okay.
little crystals in it to represent the 3 straight titles. The 0-2 ring is by far the best one. We'll keep showing some more rings. The Bulls one, the one that's shaped like a bull, is by far the worst ring out of those ones. All the rest are pretty dope. I do like that one.
Yeah, that
Um,
was hard. Their six. That one
yeah,
is super hard to me.
I
But you
like
know what?
the I like the 92 one, the one with
I was
bulls
gonna say
across
that
it.
the second one. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
definitely yeah, the 92 one is hard. That second one, just something about just the black and the bull, it just makes it pop. It makes it stand out more. Um, I like what they were trying to do with, was it 95, 94? Which one was the Red Bull?
Oh, that's 93.
95. I meant 96,
Yeah, the one
96.
down in the bottom corner, the bottom right corner.
I like what they were trying to do with it. Even that one, I don't think executed the way I would have liked it to, but
Right.
it's dope still. Like the Bulls got some dope ones, Lakers got dope ones, Bulls got dope ones.
Well, I'll tell you the truth is nowadays it's just what was I going to say? The rings are so much better now. They have hidden features, they have different things
Yeah.
you can do with them. I mean, just like a couple things, like for example, like here's a pretty dope. That's the 08 Celtics.
And
I think that one's pretty cold. Here's another good one. ...2014 Spurs ring. That's another one of my favorites.
also looks hard though.
Yeah, I know the Bulls one you're talking about. Oh, here's another one.
Yeah,
Ring.
right back and I'm here. I got the whole team in here now. It's feeling like game day and it's game day. We are the underdogs of the yeah.
So that'll be you. That's gonna be you when you get your money out of
Yeah.
that case.
Yeah, that's it. I'm buying the whole case. No questions asked. Oh, here's another one of my
Nowitzki
favorite.
against Wade, off balance, it's good! What a shot! Turning, falling away, oh, he puts it in! Dirk Nowitzki, Kirkler's backs in, falling away, puts it up, banks it in! Nowitzki.
That Mavs, with the sapphires, the blue in it. That's really nice looking. Oh, here's another one.
Goal 2 years when I came back to bring a championship to this city. I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears.
Cavs rings are the ones I just showed you. Oh wait, and there's this one too. Forgot about this one.
So let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm a little bitter.
Why is that?
Because Toronto, that one was a hard ring, but I refuse to like it. So I acknowledge the fact that it's hard, but I refuse to like it because they beat the Warriors. Same with Cleveland.
A question though, but like out of all these flavors, why do you choose to be salty?
Because when I thought things were sweet, we lost. Got me salty, and now I'm bitter.
Well, so give me some like your top 5 rings out of the ones that we've showed so far, and then I'm gonna get into some of my favorite ones.
92 Bulls, 96 Bulls. 98 Bulls. Let's see, Lakers. No, actually, 2020. I like that for the Lakers. I like the Dallas. I like theirs. And let's see, my 5th one, I guess, would be out of the ones we saw. Which Lakers? I say I'll go with the 02 Lakers actually.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one too. So we'll get into some of mine right here. Hold on, I want to see. So the 2020 Lakers with the features. I'm talking about just the ring itself. The 02 is mine, but the features of the Lakers, the Mamba around all of it. I actually called that guy today, asked him if he wanted to be on the pod. We'll see if he gets back to me on it. So that right there is one of the top 5. Really, it's just been the last few years because of the features they've added to them. So the 2020 Lakers, here's another one. So 2018 Warriors, they kind of started that trend. That would probably be my 5th one. That Lakers would probably be my 4th one. And then the Warriors, they go ahead and they up themselves by the 2022 rings with this right here.
Oh, yes.
Like just some of these features here are just crazy. 7 trophies for the 7 championship, parquet floor to represent the 2022 rivals with the Celtics. They got the Oracle roof on the back of it. Then we got what I really like right here. When we start rotating, we can start changing colors if we want. So that would probably be my number 3. My number 2 is the bucks, because you can actually make that into a necklace as well. Question for you: if you had that championship ring, would you rather rock it as a necklace or would you rather rock it as a ring?
The ring will be a special occasion type of situation, so it'll most likely be a necklace for me. I'll probably have a chain way more frequently than I will be rocking it as a ring.
So you're saying, like, if you were taking a woman on a date, a first date to like Red Lobster, Cheesecake Factory, that's when you'd wear the ring?
Right.
I got you. And then the number 1 ring of all time, and the reason why is this is the James Bond of fucking rings. There are so many hidden features in this ring. It is nuts. It is last year's Denver Nuggets. Have you paid attention to the Denver
Really?
Nuggets ring? Watch this shit. This shit is crazy.
The 47-year wait is over. The Denver Nuggets are champions. And on top of it,
Yo, that ring is the wildest thing. I don't even know where some of them compartments went back into. Like
Yo,
that
you
just
ever
looks
see a
crazy.
ring that has the banner?
No.
That's what I'm saying. It has a banner. You could rotate the dial on it. You could change the color of the face. The pickaxes move. The ball moves.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was dope.
now tell me that is not the James Bond ring. So I do not know how we cannot, is that your all-time favorite ring now that you've seen it, or what's your favorite ring?
Nah, I mean, my favorite ring is gonna be one of the teams that I was a fan of. So my favorite ring is gonna be between the Bulls and the Warriors.
Which one is it then?
92 Bulls and probably the all the Warriors are dope to me though.
That 15 is clearly that 15 and 17 are 2 classes below the 18 and 22 to me.
Yeah, the 18 is dope. So I'm going 92 Bulls, 18 Warriors, and then 21
Okay,
Warriors.
I got you. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Like I said, we got it.
Or not.
Luckily for
Yeah.
me, I'm a Suns fan, so we don't have any rings, so I don't have to be partial. Yeah, the Denver Nuggets just the dope. And like I said, you pull out the championship banner on that ring. It turns into a second ring. So you can wear the ring and then the banner ring on the other hand. So yeah, so there you guys got it on the HoopStorians. I got the 23 greatest Nuggets is the best ring. You got the 92 Bulls or the 18 Warriors.
Yeah.
Got you. So let's pivot for some good stuff to let's get into some bad stuff. Let's talk about players with criminals past, or some of the best ones. If you got some guys, I'll go ahead and read. I'll read one of mine. You read one of yours, and
Okay.
let's see how many we found together. How many that we got different. So my first one is Tom Paine. So Tom Paine in 1972 followed a woman home in Georgia, attempted to sexually assault her. When his pic was released, another woman came forward and said he sexually assaulted her a month earlier. He got 2 years and was found guilty of rape. He ended up spending 5. He got out. As soon as he got out, he had to be extradited to Kentucky for another charge of rape. that he found out that he got found guilty. He got back out in 83. He became a pro boxer for a few years. In 86, he got another sexual assault charge in California. He got released in 2000, but he violated the terms of his probation back in 86 when he got the original the sixth sexual assault charge or whatever it was in 86. So then he had to do another 19 years in Kentucky, and he got out in 2019. So in the last 5 years, though, he has gotten no charges.
Wow,
What you got for me?
that is crazy. What kind of stuff?
Not only that, tall NBA players, you know what I mean? This is obviously something was wrong with him because I don't think he had to look very far to find it willingly.
Athletes been wilding though, just going around just snatching it, because that ain't even just basketball. Like, that's a weird thing about it, because like you're saying, it's not very difficult for an athlete to find a chick. So it's like, even if you get turned down, there's so many that's willing to say yeah compared to the person that said no. So that's like some power trip stuff to be in a place of power. I mean, first of all, to be taking it is a power trip in itself, but to be
Right.
in a place where you have power and you still doing it, like, not that it's ever acceptable, but I'm just saying that's crazy. That suggests
No,
a different
when I'm saying
mental issue.
something seriously wrong,
Right.
right? Then it's solely about the power,
Exactly.
solely about the pain, solely about the anguish, solely about that. Who you got for me? Got anybody that can beat Tom Paine yet, or who you
That
got?
can beat him. I don't know if they can beat him. What about Montrezl Harrell getting arrested in 2022?
Four.
So while playing for Hornets, he gets pulled over and he was tailgating. Gets pulled over by officers. He admitted that he had been in possession of a little bit of bud in his pants. They checked the car. He ends up having 3 pounds on him. And they hit him up for drug trafficking charges. So he got hit with felony drug trafficking. All on some, he started out tailgating in Kentucky. And
Here's the thing though with Montrezl Harrell, and obviously he was about a mid-level cap, a little more than that guy. I I don't really know if he really was drug trafficking or he just got a better deal at 3 pounds, and that's why he was buying it.
let's be real. An NBA player with a salary, they can definitely 3 pounds. They can definitely buy that as personal use. Like, I don't think nobody in the NBA is flipping those 3 pounds. You ain't making no
Right.
money off that. Not when you got NBA bread.
Right. No, and that's what I'm saying. So I think it could have been drug trafficking, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, well let's go with Billy Ray Bates. How about him? Billy Ray, yeah. So it all went very wrong for him after downing a half pint of vodka on January 17th, 1998. He made sure to clarify he wasn't under the influence of drugs. He was under the influence of alcohol, and he went to play the lottery. The trip ended when Bates attempted to rob a Texaco station at knife point for money to buy cocaine. He was arrested. He was arrested later that day, found passed out, face down on a lawn. He was convicted of first and second degree assault and served almost 5 years in a New Jersey prison.
There's so much. Why is you robbing a Texaco?
What I don't get is you got drunk and went to go play the lottery. How did you end up robbing the Texaco? How did it go from that to robbing it at knife point?
Was he trying to steal all the lotto tickets? Like, what was he trying to steal?
Well, I mean, when you go turn in the stolen lotto tickets to claim your money, if you thought that was going to be the winning formula, you were going to get caught then. Who else you got for us?
How about Jackson Hayes? New Orleans Pelicans back in 2021. He gets arrested for the charge of felony assault of a law enforcement officer. LA, the police were called to his house for a domestic disturbance. They
You got
attempted
mugshots of these guys?
him. Let me see. I got his mugshot.
You got mugshots of Montrezl Harrell?
Montrezl Harrell, I do got. This man right here.
It looked like he having a bad day.
Yo, hold up, bro. I need to know, because I don't know what this is about.
Okay.
I found this one earlier, bro. This Scottie Pippen, look, bro, this Scottie Pippen is crazy.
Does it say what he did? I didn't even know Scotty got arrested.
Nah, I'm gonna have to look into that one, because who I thought it was referring to, it wasn't Scotty. But yeah, I just had to print that one out though because that was crazy to me.
Do we know the backstory of Jackson Hayes, or that's all we got?
Well, domestic stuff. So the police got there to check on the domestic. He started getting combative with the officers. A fight ends up breaking out. Hayes ends up getting tased. The police was forced to run out saying officer needs help. Radio call help. Both Hayes and the officer were taken to the hospital to get treatment for minor injuries. So yeah.
What's crazy is unless you really know basketball, you probably don't know who Jackson Hayes is. You get to a house, you see a 6'10" dude getting combative with you. Probably freaked out the cops.
Yeah, that's how he got tased. He said a fight broke out. Yeah, I mean he wasn't going. They went there trying to check the situation. He wasn't having it. Wasn't trying to let them in. Is what it is.
Well, we plan on getting this today, later, and one of the greatest defensive players of all time. How about Mookie Blaylock? So Mookie Blaylock was under strict doctor's orders not to drive because of alcoholism and seizures from alcohol withdrawal. He had his driver's license revoked because between the years of 2007 and 2013, he had accumulated 6 DUIs. But Mookie said, "Fuck that! I'm driving anyways." Killed a woman and got sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Not a vehicular manslaughter. What they hit him with? Vehicular manslaughter or what?
Yeah.
Smoke.
Oh, you got another one for me?
You know what? I actually do. And is this from the dash cam? I'm laughing. I'm laughing because this is a picture from the dash cam. And this is Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin Porter Jr., I have him on 2 different occasions. We got November 15th of 2020. He caught the charge of marijuana possession and improperly handling a firearm in a vehicle. Details are Porter was arrested after crashing his Mercedes at 2 a.m. As arriving officers discovered the loaded handgun and marijuana in a vehicle. But fortunately for him in this case, the charges was eventually dropped about a month later. Now, he also caught the felony assault and strangulation charge when he was playing for Houston in September of 2023. He was returning home from a night at the New York City. He was returning from a night out in New York, went to the hotel. He was with a former WNBA player. I don't know if you know her. I've never heard of her before, but her name is Kurz Gun. I don't even know how to say it.
Actually, dog, you know what's crazy? I actually don't know her.
It's like Gun Drazik.
I think it's immaterial though, but what happened?
Yeah, they were standing together. She got upset about how late he was returning, locked the door on him. After entering the room, he allegedly put hands on her. The attack left her with a fractured neck. Oh, he strangled her. Left her with a fractured neck and a deep cut above her right eye.
That's actually the charge I know about.
Yeah, he didn't stop until she ran into the hallway covered in blood. So, yeah.
Do you think he should have stopped way before then? Because I certainly do.
Yeah.
Should never got to that point. What's crazy is too, and I get it's a pride thing or whatever, but you can't put yourself in those situations, and you certainly can't be doing that to women. You have the money. If she's locking the door and you go stay at a hotel,
right?
You stay at a very nice hotel, right? You stay at a very nice hotel. Rent you an apartment. If it's going to be problems like that, and then you can go crash at your apartment too. But yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, well I got one for you, a little different. And this borders to me on the level of stupidity and sanity. I don't know which it is. Charles E. Smith was drunk and on codeine in 1991 when he decided to plow his van into 2 female victims as he was driving along, then drove off. Now that's one level, but it gets deeper. Then he decided to take a U-turn and go watch at the scene. When a taxi cab driver recognized him, followed him, and told the cops where he was on his radio, and that got him 4.5 for vehicular homicide.
Wow.
What else you got for me?
So trying to find somebody who did not actually put hands on a girl. Aggravated assault. Who we got here?
Well, while you
Okay.
find it, you want me to tell you another one, or you got one?
More I got Markeith Morris.
Okay.
Aggravated assault on April 21st of 2015 while playing for Phoenix. Mark.
They jumped him. I already know the story. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I know the story.
So Markeith, along with his brother Marcus, who was also his teammate at the time, um, let's see. They were
And the crew.
indicted following an incident in January where the two allegedly assaulted an acquaintance following a high school basketball tournament. The twins were angry with the man for texts he sent to their mother that interpreted they interpreted as flirtatious. So the man, he ended up suffering a broken nose as well as some cuts and bruises. So the moral of the story is don't flirt with the Morris brothers' mom because they will pull up on you and they will pull up on you together. So when you see two of them, you really seeing two of them.
Hey, that ain't even really the story. First off, I think it was 5 or 6 of them. So not just them. They brought their crew. And it wasn't just some dude. It wasn't some dude. It was their mom was seeing the dude. And they didn't like the dude, so they showed up like 5 or 6 deep to whoop his ass. And that's what happened. Okay, well, I got one for you. This was one of my favorite. Daryl alums. In 1987, to fuel his crack addiction, Alums first turned to robbing Target stores before landing himself in trouble by trying to rip off an undercover policeman for two $20 rocks of cocaine. While on probation for this charge, Alums tried a new hustle, robbing pizza delivery drivers again and again and again. He specifically targeted Domino's pizza deliverers, and he was finally caught after trying to lure the same Domino's employee he had robbed a few nights prior, who was able to identify him, call the police, and traced him from a car he was waiting in. He told the jury, "I'm not a robber and I'm innocent of these crimes," while acting as his own attorney. Accused of no less than 14 robberies, he was convicted of 8 and sentenced to 9 years in state prison. Now, I got a question. Why do you think he, first off, what do you think made him turn to go from Targets to pizza delivery men, and why specifically Domino's?
So I'm guessing Domino's is probably the piece of delivery that he was seeing most frequently in his area, or maybe he just had a vendetta against them. Maybe they messed up his order one too many times. I don't know what that was about. Maybe that guy sent some flirtatious text to his mom. Who knows what happened in that case? Um, I'm assuming it's kind of like back in the day, like you feel me? If he cracked out and everything like that, back in the day, those delivery drivers used to have a little bread on them. So maybe he was thinking like that, like, yo, maybe there's some bread. Maybe he got some money in the car. You know, he's high. So I don't know. But
You got anybody else?
uh so this one is just more funny to me than anything. Um Tabo Cephalosha.
Oh, I already know this.
You know this one? Yeah. So April 8th, a couple days after my birthday, actually, April 8th in 2015, he was arrested alongside with his teammate, Peru Antique, after interfering with the police outside the 10AK nightclub in Manhattan. This was following a stabbing of the Indiana Pacers, Chris Copeland. Cephalosha, his leg was broken in the incident, causing him to miss the remainder of that season. So the officers end up tackling him and striking him with a nightstick. And that's how he ends up breaking his leg. I don't mean to laugh, but that's just the wildest thing. You at the nightclub chilling, somebody gets stabbed that plays in the NBA. As you outside, the police end up tackling and beating you up.
So to add some more context, here's what happened. He was standing around the scene. The cops told him to back up. He did not back up quick enough. So then they went on the attack. he ended up missing the playoffs for the Hawks that year, and they had the best record in the league at 60-22. But here's my favorite part about that story, actually. So they get to court after they charge him with whatever bullshit charge they charge him with. They get to him. The prosecuting attorney offers him a plea deal of probation. He says, "Nah, fuck that. I'll take that to trial." So after he turned it down, they just dropped the charges, and then he sued the city of New York
As he
and won
should.
too. So that was one. Okay,
You know what happened with his teammate? His teammate get off too?
that I
Because
don't
they
know.
found him with a disorderly harassment.
Right, that I don't know. That I
Okay.
don't know. But I do know that. That's what I do know. What about Jack Molinas? So this dude did 5 years for fixing games. He got out. He started shipping furs and porn to Taiwan. Got hemmed up on that. Then a couple years later, he got murdered 2 years later in his yard, and they can't rule out it wasn't a mob hit.
What? They can't rule that out.
No, they can't. He got murdered in his backyard.
Some ties right there. That's unfortunate though. Dang.
Well, I mean, when you're fixing games, shipping furs and porn to Taiwan, I don't think his thing is too. He said, "I did nothing wrong. The only people I hurt were some bookies and some bettors."
So you don't see how that can affect whole families and stuff. I did nothing wrong. What?
They shouldn't be gambling anyway. I think that was his attitude. If you're going to be gambling, you shouldn't anyways. You got anybody else for us? Because I have 3 left after this, and I'm saving the best for last, or the worst for last. I guess.
I got some, but I'm laughing at these mugshots, bro. Look at your man Ty Lawson.
That was DUI, right?
It was a DUI.
Ty Lawson has that Mookie Blaylock disease.
Ty Lawson did. He so it looks like this one is from January 23rd, 2015. He got caught driving under the influence. He was arrested after being pulled over at 1 a.m. driving 61 in a 35 zone. The officers found him slurring his speech. He was smelling like alcohol, and they arrested him. This happened to be his 3rd arrest in 2 years. And it looks like he was also arrested for driving under the influence in 2018 while a student at the University of North Carolina. So that's some alcoholism definitely in his history.
No, definitely that. Yeah, and Ty Lawson could ball, man. He was we didn't add him when we didn't do those 6 feet under, but for 5'11", that dude could really play. So yeah. Well, I got Javarius Critton. So Javarius Critton and Gilbert Arenas started pulling guns on each other in the locker room in 2010. That was in 2010. By 2011, he had joined a gang, the Mansfield Gangster Crips. Supposedly a man who robbed him of his chain. Javarius Critton decided to do a drive-by. Other conflicting reports goes, if he was just going to be down, he had to do a drive-by anyways. So he started popping, killed a mother of, I believe, 4, and is currently doing 23 years in prison over it. What do you think of Javarius Critton?
Another idiot.
Why do you join a gang after being in the NBA? Why do you join a gang after you get into the NBA? I don't understand.
I don't understand why anybody waits until after they get some money to start doing the wrong. Like, you wait until you're in a position to do better, in a position to do right, and that's when you want to mess up. You want to be a gangbanger after you're already on a team. That ain't gang enough for you?
No, it's got to pay better too than your gang activity.
I guess when you don't get the minutes like you want the respect. So maybe, I don't know.
Do you think he's getting the respect right now in prison?
Negative. Not unless they betting on him. Not unless he's still hooping and they can get some money off of him. No.
I'm sure he's balling out in prison. Who else you got for us?
Maybe. Charlie Bell.
Okay.
Now Charlie Bell. Huh?
I remember Charlie Bell.
Yeah, he used to play for the Warriors and
Bucks.
Yeah. So while he was playing for the Warriors in 2011, which this particular incident came as his 3rd arrest of 2011. So Bell's 3rd arrest of 2011 came when he showed up drunk to court he was at a hearing for a previous arrest in October of 2011 for a DUI. He was arrested for that DUI. He was arrested for a different DUI in February of the same year. So this is 2011. He gets arrested in February for a DUI, gets arrested in October for a DUI. Then he goes to court in December smelling like he's drunk and gets arrested again. So yeah, this is 3 years of him being in contact with the police and being drunk.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? He became a coach, I think, after that too. He became like a college coach and all that. So I think
Yeah,
he became a college.
coach.
Okay, well, what about Sylvester Sly Williams? He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for the 2002 kidnap of a woman the prior year. He held her captive for the better part of 24 hours, uh, beating her up and threatening her with a knife while sexually assaulting her.
I mean, I guess if you have a weapon and you're assaulting someone, it kind of goes hand in hand, unfortunately. But once again, we're back to these players. Like, why? Why are you forcing yourself on people? I don't understand.
Right.
And then physically, I'm sure he's bigger than most women too. So you physically imposing, and then you still want to pull out weapons on people too.
Like I said, I don't have the answers when you have this money and you have this fame. Not only that, as a former basketball player, you can get a coaching job, an analysis job, a studio job. You get a bunch of jobs. So it's not like you have to be broke or anything like that. You can be coaching overseas. You do a bunch of shit. So I
Right.
don't get it. Who else you got for us?
I have Quintel Woods.
I already know. I already know the charge.
You know
Go
which
on.
one?
I know Quintel Woods. Go ahead.
All right. So disclaimer for those, who have pets and everything like that. This is an animal cruelty charge. So on January 21st of 2005, while playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, the investigators began looking into Woods's. They started looking into events and things of that nature following a 2014 television report that alleged that his pet pit bull was abandoned and covered with serious bite wounds. 4 months later, he pled guilty to a misdemeanor, animal abuse, to avoid more serious charges. So he's basically fighting dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and he got caught doing it. He was sentenced to probation and community service. He got kicked off the team after that. Following his plea, he got kicked off the team. But yeah, so lesson once again, you can take a page from Mike Vick book. Like once you get into the league, again, I'm not condoning and I'm not saying you should be fighting dogs. I'm not saying any of that, but I am saying once you get into the league, all of that side hustle stuff, all of them things that you are doing as far as underground activity, it should cease. Like that defeated the whole purpose of having this ticket in your pocket if you was gonna go hit the block.
Right. No, like I said, it's just so baffling. We just keep saying the same thing over and over again. I don't know why you get to the league and then you start doing this. Let's go with Paul McPherson. Do you remember him?
Only by name.
Well, he was a Chicago street ball legend. He played, I believe, 1 season with the Suns and the Warriors. I thought he was really going to be something. He reminded me of a shorter kind of Joe Johnson, but thicker. He looked to be like, and I don't remember, he was probably about 6'4", but he looked to be like 250. He was just so wide and all that. And, I just never understood why he didn't make it. Well, about 4 months ago, he was coaching at a high school when he started having sex with the students.
Oh, whoa.
Not only did he start having sex with the students, he was getting high with them on the property. The one girl that he got caught with, he would send her text me, meet me down the street around the corner from the school so they don't recognize my Maserati when I pick you up.
So he flexing?
No. He's just saying my Maserati. He's like, I would assume it's the nicest car there.
No, I would too, but that's what I'm saying. Reflect, because it's like obviously you're the only person at the school with a Maserati, so you don't have to
Right.
tell me it's a Maserati, clearly.
Right.
But
So, yeah. You got anybody else for us? You do one more, I'll do one more.
I got one more.
Okay.
Look at that mug. That's just did you see it?
I did, bro. He's looking like a Colombian drug lord.
Good old Matt Burns on week.
He's looking
on
like
week. I love Matt Burns, but on
I,
week because of
I
that
know.
look, like who takes a mugshot picture like that? So for this picture, this was 2012. This is January. I mean not January, July 30th, 2012. He got caught driving on a suspended license,
Mhm.
and then he ended up threatening a police officer. The details are
It's
this
on
is
the video.
Brian's. Huh?
You can
You seen
you
the
can watch
video?
it. Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube.
So this was his second arrest. Wait, what? This is the second arrest. It's for an outstanding traffic citation. Okay. So this is the second time he got arrested in his career, but he got arrested for an
Right.
outstanding traffic citation, but it quickly escalated into a felony when he started threatening a police officer. His demonic smile makes for one of the better mug shots. Clearly, yeah.
No, definitely. I see now why, because he
I'm gonna
said,
watch the video now, but yeah, he was on demon time that night.
well, my pops used to always be like that Mexican that plays for the Suns, and I'm like, there's no one. He was talking about Matt Barnes, and I'm like, dude, that dude's black. You know what I mean? And then he was talking about it on his podcast. He was like, everybody thinks I'm Mexican, but I'm black and white. But a lot of people think I'm that. And when you showed me that picture, that's the first time I've ever seen him looking Latino. So that's when. Okay, so I saved the worst. I saved the worst for last. This is by far the worst criminal ever that's been in the NBA, and it's not even close. And it is your boy Fast Eddie Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks fame. By 2006, he had racked up at least 100 arrests. And then in 2006, by his own reckoning, he walked uninvited into an apartment in Florida and insulted an 8-year-old girl. The victims described to detective that Johnson had told her not to tell anyone what just happened. Johnson denied the charges, saying he only kissed the child as a friendly gesture,
What?
and that he loves them kids like his own. He's no pervert. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the assault, as well as an assault on a 25-year-old woman just a couple days prior to that attack. He died in state prison in Florida in 2020. So, what do you think about Fast Eddie Johnson?
He was moving too fast, and they had to slow him down. Is what I think. Um, you know anything about this other woman he assaulted prior
No, I
to?
can't. I can't keep up with all. I mean, like I said, he assaulted so many people, robbed people. He did it all.
He was wild,
Other
man.
than murder, I think he pretty much did it all.
He must have thought he
So
was signing the Def Jam instead of the NBA.
I know he. A lot of these criminals, they went on the offense, and that is the wrong thing to do. And because they went on the offense, we are going to pivot and we are going to go on the defense. And I want to talk about the greatest defenders in NBA history. And really kind of what I want to talk about is I'm going to mix in some that, people know, but I want to mix in a lot that people don't know and some of the greatest defenders of all time. So let's get on the defense.
Brandon Roy driving on Parker. LeBron. No, they didn't get it. They didn't get it from either referee. I can see it's on the way up here right now. And I think, in my opinion, I don't think that is a goaltend right there.
I agree with you.
Misses, and Kobe retrieves it. Here come the Lakers. And Bryant trying to go behind his back, and Boykins the other way, and they'll finish off with Andre Miller. Maybe.
Hey, Kobe did not give up
Kobe
on that
Bryant?
play. How about that play? It's a 17-point game, 6 minutes to go. Kobe tried to make a spectacular play on the offensive end, lost it, and Andre Miller took his time on the other end laying up. Watch Kobe. He's completely out of the play.
That category.
So I want to talk about one, Bobby Jones. He had one of the best nicknames of all time, the Secretary of Defense. He made 11 straight all defensive teams. I believe he made 9 or 10 first teams all in a row. And he also led the league one time in defensive plus box minus. And what's really impressive about him is he was white. You don't see white people dominating on the defensive end like that unless they're 7'4" or something.
Right.
But yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, as a 6'9" white dude, just one of the best defenders of all time. Really hung his hat on defense. So yeah, I got Bobby Jones. I think is a career, an insanely underrated defender. Why don't you shoot me one of who you got for one of the best defenders of all time?
I mean, for me, Kobe. I mean, I don't really have all of Kobe's numbers like that. It's more
Right,
so from viewing and observing Kobe. Kobe always took the challenge of whoever the best player on the other team is. He never shied away from trying to defend them,
right.
especially if they were, a guard or a forward or something like that. Because who else are you going to guard? But at the same time, he wasn't scared of that challenge. And as you see, Kobe will chase you down. He will recover his ball if he make a mistake and he lose it. Obviously, not all the time, but that's the kind of heart that he had. So yeah, Kobe's on my list for one of the best or better defenders.
No, definitely.
Constantly making defensive teams, all teams and everything like that,
I
all
remember.
NBA teams.
I remember that clip where he just really shut down Wade, and Wade just couldn't really dribble against him. And Wade, Wade's a 30-point scorer in his prime, one of the best offensive players ever, and just Wade couldn't do nothing with him. And obviously Kobe's older at that point in time too, when he was trying to shut down Wade. So, he at
Yeah.
that point in time, he had been in the league, what, 12, 14 years, something like that, and just still working Wade. So yeah, Kobe's definitely up there.
Yeah, you
Um,
see Kobe, my bad, not even to cut you off, just real quick. You see Kobe doing stuff like taking challenges like Steph. He'll take a challenge like you said, Wade. He'll take LeBron. He'll take Melo. It didn't matter. So whoever, Mike, he'll take whoever.
well, I also want to talk about I don't know how well you remember Mark Eaton, but Mark Eaton was just a shot blocking machine for the Utah Jazz. He was 7'4". He came into the league at 25 because he was tired of being an an auto mechanic. Now I don't know why at 7'4" you decided the auto mechanic path is the career for me and didn't just go straight to the league. But
Mm.
to each their own. He set the record, well, the technical record, because we didn't keep track of blocks till 73, 74, with 5.6 blocks a game. He was a 4-time blocks champ. He was a 5-time all defensive player, 2-time defensive player of the year, 1-time defensive win shares, 3-time defensive plus minus. I wanted to ask you this, with a guy like that, instead of like a Greg Ostertag, if you think they still had Mark Eaton in their prime, the Jazz, do you think they could have toppled the Bulls?
Do I think they could have stopped the Wolves? They wouldn't have been able to stop Mike. Is the question of the rest. No, to be honest, it's hard to say. Like, everything is a day-to-day game, so it's hard to say. It depends on who else came to show up. It depends on, could we neutralize Jordan?
I guess what I'm saying is if you add one of the best defensive big men ever, do you think that would have been enough? Do you think the Jazz that would have pushed the Jazz over? Do you think that would have been enough to push the Jazz over or no?
I don't know. I
Do you think it
mean,
would have got them closer? You think it would have got them to a game 7?
I think it would have got him closer, and I even will go as far as to say it could have possibly, but do I in my heart think it would have? No, I don't. I think it just would have made the Bulls elevate their game, especially Mike. You feel me? I think if Mike had to come up with an extra like 10 points, he would have figured it out.
No, I see that. Another guy that Mike actually matched up again. I want to talk about Sidney Moncrief. They called him Sid the Squid because it seemed like he just had arms everywhere, which was a terrible nickname. He's a 5-time All Defensive Player, All Defensive Team. He's 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Did you know he's the only guard to win Defensive Player more than once?
Uh, no, I didn't know that. Defensive player. I don't know why. I thought that there would have been more.
No, he is the only guard to win defense. Do you think having that feat, it should elevate him in his defensive ranking? Because he only made 5 defensive teams. So he's not like Kobe with 10, but Kobe's got no defensive players of the years. So I'm saying with those type of stats, do you think those type of things should elevate him in the greatest argument as far as defense goes or no?
As far as defense goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's keep going. So this is one of the players that I think this is the greatest defensive player of all time overall, and I'm gonna go with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Mm.
Um, so hold on. Yeah, Rodman was a great player, but people know Rodman, and that's why I wasn't bringing him up. I'm trying to bring up players out, but yeah, Rodman was an awesome defensive player. He could guard 1 through 5. Especially Rodman had the craziest bounce. If you ever watch him, especially in the 80s, dude just bounced he was like Pepe Le Pew, just bouncing. He had just the craziest bounce to it. It
He
was
was
nuts.
crazy. As far as he looked extremely athletic, but yeah, the way he walked, it was like Rodman kind of he kind of almost walked on his tippy toes. So he just had a natural bounce, kind of.
Well, if you remember when we were in track, that's when we first learned you're supposed to run on the balls of your feet. Your heels should never touch. You never listened. You had the worst running form I've ever seen, and we're still smoking people. It'd be amazing if you had some good form, but yeah, like your heels were touching, your your feet were all duck crawl. It was crazy to see you moving like that from the other end, watching you run the 100. But yeah, you want to stay on the balls of your feet if you're running. And if you ever watch LeBron run, he stays on the balls of his feet. Like he is insane about his prep in that. But yeah, so to me, Hakeem is the greatest defensive player of the year. I think he could really guard 1 through 5. But I also, after this, I'm gonna have the most, I think, underrated defensive player. Hakeem 1 through 5. I think he stepped out on the pick and roll. He could guard the pick and roll. If you rotated the point guard on him, he could cover that. And not only that, he could play off him and still close the gap on the block, like we watched LeBron do a lot in 2011 against Derrick Rose. Force you into bad jump shot, block your jump shot, take the steal, run it down, dunk it. This dude is a 2-time defensive player of the year, 2-time rebounding champ, 3-time block champ, 9-time all defensive player, 4 times in defensive win shares, 2 times leader in defensive box score plus minus. He is also the only player ever with 200 steals and 200 blocks in the same season, or 2.5 steals and 2.5 blocks in the same season. What do you think about that? A dude is ripping you as much as he's blocking you.
I mean, the dream is a nightmare. That's what I think about it. I got a couple honorable mentions. I feel
Go
like Dikembe,
Yeah.
but I guess I can't mention Dikembe without Wallace. But Dikembe, Draymond, actually, Draymond is an honorable mention for me for similar reasons to Akeem. Yeah, but he ain't just guarding for though. He'll do the 1 to 5 too though. So yeah, that's Dre. What is he, 6'6"? But he can
Yeah.
guard whoever's on the court.
Is that really a basis for do you think he'd be guarding guys like Patrick Ewing effectively, David Robinson? I don't think he'd guard Shaq. Hakeem, what do you think he would do if he was put on those type of players? What about a Barkley? How about that? What do you think would happen with Barkley if Barkley in his prime against Draymond?
Draymond Green and Barkley be getting a fight.
No, but I'm saying who would win the basketball matchup? Could Draymond stop Barkley?
I mean, does Barkley get stopped? So yeah, Barkley wins the matchup. Dre makes it difficult for anybody, but I mean, some players are unstoppable. I don't think Barkley was going to get stopped at all, but I could see Draymond disrupting him. I could see him getting in his head. That's the reason I said they end up fighting. As far as
Hakeem, let's go Hakeem. What do you think? How do you think Draymond could hold up against Hakeem?
He can't. No offense to Draymond, but Akeem is another one. Who's stopping Akeem? Who's gonna stop him from doing what he want to do? You feel me? What you might stop Akeem from on a night that he was gonna score 25. You might keep him to 21. Like, what do you do with that?
I got you.
But yeah, I think David Robinson kind of would have gave Draymond that work, but I don't know how aggressive David Robinson would have been as far as offensively. So there's that. Patrick Ewing, I think Dre, even though I think Patrick Ewing is great, and I think he had some movement before his knees got real bad, I think he kind of had some movement. But I think Dre would have gave Patrick Ewing some problems though. I don't think Patrick would have.
Speaking of movement, did you see what Kevin Garnett said? How Hakeem Olajuwon used to talk shit?
No.
He said he would go, hitting him with lateral movement. Hitting him with lateral movement. And Garnett was like, I ain't got nothing for that. What do you say to that?
I say nothing. He hitting him with lateral movement. He's telling them.
Right.
Meant that.
So, yeah, I got and this is who's my all-time. I think he is the greatest perimeter defender player of all time. Statistically, he definitely has an argument for it. And the dude's nickname was Dog. I'm talking about Alvin Robertson. blocking Moses and John Stockton. He was only 6'3". He had really, really long arms. He was a 3-time steals champ, 6-time all defensive player. He's the all-time leader in steals per game, steals in a season at 3.7, the only person ever with over 300 steals in a season. He's also the only player ever to get a quadruple double with steals.
You said ever?
Ever. Unless we're going back to before they kept track of him. We don't have video footage, but since 73, 74, he is the only player ever to get a quadruple double with steals. Do you think he has an argument for greatest perimeter defender of all time?
Yeah. I mean, when you do great things or when you do things that haven't been done, it kind of almost cements you in the category of your greatness. Like once you do some stuff that's untouched, it's like, hey, how do you argue?
What do you think? What do you think Alvin Robertson would have done if he was there when David Robinson got there? Kind of like an inside-outside combo. The dude could average 20 a game too.
I think that they would have started hurting people. Like I think it would be the same as like what the Spurs did when Tim Duncan got there. You feel me? Having somebody else of that caliber next to David Robinson is just going to be a recipe for success.
Well, that's it for our tonight show. We are the HoopStorians. He is unique. I'm Tony Styles. We are dropping dimes like Dare. We will check y'all tomorrow. And until then, have a good night. Take care. And we'll check y'all tomorrow.
Oh, yes. All right, Sean.